this budget cycle. We cannot leave it, where we would allow people who deliver pizzas for a living to earn more than those who to provide direct care services in the government system.
I'm Meredith Arout with Livewire News Service. I'm here with Michael Wedderberg. Tell us about this event.
Hi Meredith, we're here today at the Staten Island Developmental Disabilities Council Community Breakfast, and we're here today to talk about issues that are of a concern for people with developmental disabilities here on Staten Island. Our three issues that we're talking about today will be the proposed minimum wage increase, which we're in favor of giving our direct support staff increase in wages, but as of right now the governor has not included that in his funding in the New York State budget. We're also here to talk about the lack of residential development. There's been really no development of homes for people with developmental disabilities who need 24-hour, 7-day-a-week care and oversight. Our last issue today that we're talking about, and there's many others, but the last one we're focusing on is the lack of funding for early intervention programs in the 4410 schools, which are specialized preschools that serve children with developmental disabilities. That hasn't been funded now. I think the last increase has been about 6 years. And so we're here to advocate for them. Several have gone out of business over the last year, and we're concerned about that, and we want our legislators to know.
I will not be here forever, and neither will my brother, who cannot take care of her. I need help. We need help. We all need help.
A commitment was made in those recommendations that a majority of the $120 million in new funding proposed in the executive budget will be allocated to support those presently living at home. We are also committing to designate $10 million of that new funding to our regional offices to develop housing supports for those individuals who need residential supports who are not Priority 1 individuals.
In the billions of dollars the governor proposed to be spent this coming year, in an hour-long address, in more than 25 pages and over 12,000 words, we are not mentioned once. People with intellectual and developmental disabilities, self-advocates, family members, caring for their loved ones, OPWDD, not a single mention. This is our problem. If the governor believes that the $15 minimum wage proposal is reasonable, then the governor needs to include the funding of this increase to the non-profit service providers, just as he has to the state. The governor needs to include the funding for our staff, just as he had for the state, because, in his words, it is only fair and it is only right.
But I especially want to thank the team from Lifestyle, who've been working very hard for me, trying to help me. Mr. Silinardi, I thank you. Karen, Maricel, Ursula, Joanne, and all the staff members. They are wonderful. Florence goes to Lifestyle 5 days a week. She goes to the respite program on Saturday, which I want to thank them too, because she's very, very happy doing those things, and on the go. They have all been a great support and helpful to me. But, as we all know, they can only go so far.
How we value human services in this state. The fact that so many people who are working in this industry earn little more than minimum wage is appalling, and as a state we should be ashamed of ourselves.
Housing, housing, housing. It is so critical, and it's one of the things that we brought up during the hearing. And Ms. Salem, who I've met with personally in my office, and I've been trying to assist. You know, if we can't find housing for Priority 1, what about Priority 2 and 3?
So I'm here with Barbara Devaney.
Hi, good morning. We do have a theme today. It's called Keeping the Promise. It matters to us. The promise matters to us now because the way the state is going, it seems to be going in the opposite direction. And services are being cut, and people don't have the opportunities that they used to have.
I started 25 and a half years ago as a caseworker. I worked in the city's child welfare system. My starting salary then was $24,670. And that was for a bachelor's degree. And you know what that equates to? $15.77 an hour. That was 25 and a half years ago. And yet here we are, 25 and a half years later. And many of our direct support staff are earning little more than $10 or $11 an hour. And not only working for low wages, but taking on incredible responsibility.
And you've been taxpayers your entire life, and that's what's wrong with this country sometimes. The people who have been taxpayers their entire lives don't get the services that they need, and it's wrong and it has to stop. We are not going to allow the governor's proposal to fund, use your taxpayer dollars to fund political campaigns pass this year. All right? That would, listen to me. They want to use your taxpayer money to fund political campaigns with a 6-to-1 match in the state of New York. That would cost $200 million every election cycle, every 2 years, $200 million.
I'm Assemblymember Nicole Malliotakis, representing the East Shore. Very happy to be here with you today at the breakfast and learning and listening to all the concerns of our community here, families and advocates that play such an important role with the developmental disability community.
Now I ask all of you, who would do this work at this low rate of compensation with the level of responsibility that you have to take on and worrying about being arrested if a mistake is made? What kind of staff are we going to be able to recruit and retain in these facilities, in these residential group homes, and even in our direct care agencies if you cannot compensate people and they have to worry about being arrested if they make a mistake? Who would work in this industry? Nobody.